Hello all, and welcome to Coffee with Marci. When the Me Too movement exploded, it didn't only impact Hollywood and Washington, D.C., but women from all areas. Waitresses, assistants, nurses, single mothers, and more. And there was one organization right in New Jersey who was a support system for them, the Bergen YWCA of New Jersey. CEO Helen Archontou is here today to tell us not only how the movement impacted them, but how they responded and what they are doing to further support women and children. Welcome to Coffee with Marci. It's so awesome to have you on and tell about the YWCA.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, Marci. It's so exciting to finally be here. I've been a fan for a long time.
Thank you.
The mission of the YWCA
yes, please tell us about the mission.
Is to eliminate racism and empower women.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting ready to celebrate our 100th birthday. And although we do change with the times, that's the one piece
important.
That has not changed at all. We stay true to our core.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So when the Me Too happened, you didn't want to be just another blip on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, what was it like then at the YWCA?
So it was a really interesting time for us because our organization is the owner and operator of the statewide Sexual Violence Resource Center here for Bergen County, Healing Space. And we've been doing this work for, 25, 30 years, in Bergen County. But as we all know, somewhere around October, we were watching the press and we were watching all of these, celebrities and models and actors and singers come forward with their stories. And it was really interesting because suddenly it was getting attention in a different way. So survivors of sexual violence live with this every day. And so this is nothing new, but suddenly everyone else who maybe, were not as aware of it, suddenly were like, wow, this is really prevalent. And because of my role at the YWCA, I was getting a lot of calls from the press, and through those conversations, they were talking to me about, making comments about the movement. And as we know, so many stories came out from October all the way into December. I kept getting calls, but one of the things I noticed as the months went on is the questions from the reporters were shifting and changing. Oh. By December, it started to become almost more like a backlash thing. Like, could it really be this many cases? Are people just jumping on the bandwagon? Yeah. Like, everyone suddenly has a story just to get their name in the press, as opposed to, wow, look at the extent of this problem.
Yes, absolutely.
And I was really, troubled by that. Yeah. Because, again, we've been doing this work for a long time. We finally were getting some, real attention to the issue, and I really didn't want it to just become a blip on the radar screen and just a news story, as opposed to what I really wanted it to be was a culture shift.
Yes.
And so I was able to, sit with Assemblywoman Huddle, who happens to be, here, within our districts of Bergen County, and she's done amazing work to support women and families in lots of areas, but specifically in the area of sexual violence. And we had been speaking on a bunch of panels, over the last few months, and I went to her and said, let's do something about this.
Yes.
Let's bring all of the organizations and all of the individuals that we know that care about this together, and let's actually try to move the needle.
Yeah.
Let's actually grab this moment and do something with it. And middle of January, the week before the Women's March, we launched the Time Is Now Women's Action Coalition, and it was an exciting time. We had, at that moment, we had 50 organizations and individuals come together and stand with us, to be able to say, no more sexual harassment in the workplace, no more sexual violence in the workplace, and no more sexual violence, period.
Exactly.
I mean, it needs to end, and we can actually individually and collectively take action that can make that happen, make it something of the past. And as I like to say, make it something that my kids and your kids watching a documentary someday and be like, wow, that happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love for that to be something that we can really be part of the movement. So our coalition launched, as I said, in January, and our first action item was to bring together town halls in our community so we could hear from the individuals right here in Bergen County as to their experiences around sexual harassment and sexual assault.
These are women that have been sexually assaulted, and
these are women.
Story.
These are women. These are men too. And in some ways it's genderless, and we've become a genderless society, and quite frankly, it's a genderless issue. Statistically, women are much more impacted, and women of color even more greatly. So again, we needed to force the conversation locally and bring people together to talk about it, but people aren't used to talking about it, as we know. And survivors although they saw these celebrities talking, you know, my fear was we wanted them to understand you don't have to be a model, you don't
No.
have to be a rock star, you don't have to be an actress.
The great thing is they started the conversation.
They
They
did.
have a voice, and it helped all of those that don't have a voice necessarily. I mean, they do have a voice, but when you're in the limelight like that, you can really bring things to the
Yeah.
surface and get people to talk about it and notice it.
Absolutely. I mean, the reality of it is because of their celebrity, you know, their words get a different kind of attention than my words get.
Of course.
You know, so it's wonderful that they did that so that people out there who hadn't come forward yet with their
Yes.
stories did not feel alone. But at the end of the day, if you're a waitress, if you're a housekeeper, you know, if you're working in a bakery, you know,
Yeah.
if you're a shopkeeper, if you are in a corporate environment working behind a desk, you know, your stories matter too.
Absolutely.
And also, you know, you shouldn't feel powerless because you're not a celebrity and don't have all that backing behind you. You know, and I think it's wonderful that the Time's Up movement was launched and, you know, that we have so many, you know, very strong women able to come together around it. But we need to do that locally here, which is why I'm so grateful for you to give us this platform, because it's strong women like you in our community and the others that have come together to support our organization and to stand with our coalition like Assemblywoman Huddle and others, you know, really are driving the conversation. We had over 120 individuals come forward and share stories about
Wow.
sexual harassment and sexual assault in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fathers. They were women that had had the experiences. They were mothers. You know, they were parents asking, how do we teach our children, you know, how to speak about these issues and feel comfortable? They were women that were saying, I was in this situation, I didn't know what to do. They were women in untraditional work environments saying,
Yes.
you know, I was lucky enough to have a job, you know, working, you know, this type of work, you know, and as it was, I stood out because I was a woman. If I now came forward with my story, I was totally going to be blacklisted for being
Yeah.
able to work in this environment. So it really brought attention to a conversation, and very quickly there were themes that were identified, and those themes we now pulled together a coalition. And we examined them and looked at them, and now we put them forward into a full report
Okay.
from stage one, which was these town halls. And I'm excited to say on April 19th in Hackensack, we'll be having a press conference at 11 a.m. with our First Lady, Tammy Murphy,
Oh,
who's
fantastic.
coming, and we will
Uh-huh.
be sharing the findings from our initial report
Okay.
with our coalition standing with us for the community. Because, you know, everyone out there can get involved. There's something that we can all do, and there's a way to make this history.
Yeah, so as these ladies are coming in and sharing their stories, what is happening? What is the action that's then happening after that?
Well, as I said, there was almost a number of areas that just organically became identified because the stories were, you know, almost fell into categories. And, you know, because we have an expert team at the YW and an expert team on this coalition, we were able to then, you know, take them and put those themes actually into work groups. And those are the work groups that we'll be announcing, and those are the action items. And as I said, there are things that can be handled in a legislative realm that we can hand off to all of the people that we put in office and
Yes.
say, please do something with this.
Right.
But there's also things that we can be doing locally. There's work that organizations can be picking up. There's, you know, individuals, you know, who have a platform, you know, can be talking about this. And there's certain areas of employment that we noticed that there were significantly higher rates of individuals
Interesting.
coming forward. And so we can actually go into those areas and do education outreach, you know,
Yes.
to try to bring support.
I think education is one of the key factors here to making that shift and making a difference.
It totally is, because I really do believe that people want to do better.
Yes.
They just don't always know how.
Right.
And we can give them those tools through this you know, coalition and through the work that we're doing and the next steps. So I'm very, very excited about it. And
That's
you know,
fantastic.
as we all know, you know, one of the things that happens to survivors is they feel powerless because of what's happened to them. And this is an opportunity for us, you know, all to regain the power.
Right.
You know, and be able to move forward and be empowered, just like the mission of the YWCA.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, to me, why our work is so important. Because, you know, we see a need for women, and we respond to it.
Yes.
We pull together. We have an amazing board of directors that are very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
We have lots of wonderful friends in the community, and
Yes.
together we go to them and say, this is what's going on.
Right.
What can we do to help it?
What can we do?
Or this is what we want to do, and then they stand with us to make it happen. So
That's fantastic.
It's wonderful.
Thank you for sharing what you just shared about the coalition. But now I want to move into the YWCA. What exactly you do, the areas that you're leading, and why you wanted to lead the YWCA.
So the YWCA does its work in a few different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is youth development. What some people don't know is we're the largest child care provider in Bergen County.
Wow.
We have some amazing camp opportunities for families in the summer, and I call it the People's Camp because we do allow families to buy week-to-week options because we know that families are stressed with their budgets, and having to pay for the whole entire summer, may be a lot if you have 2 weeks of vacation planned and
Right.
have a double, book your funds, that you can buy week to week as needed. And we have one beautiful camp at Darlington County Park in Mawa. So
Nice.
your kids get this amazing experience with the lake and the greenery and archery and golf and tennis and all these wonderful opportunities. But then they still get to come home at night and not have to be
Right.
sleep away. And we also have another wonderful school-based camp in Dumont. So those are, and I know we all have summer on the brain after this season that we're trying to, I know we're in spring.
We're waiting.
We're still trying to shake the winter. So I, of course, went right to summer with
We
camp.
have to plan for it, right?
Flowers are helping. But we also are in before and after school programs. Right now we're in 22 schools across Bergen County.
Wow.
And, parents are working, and parents need to feel that their children are in
support.
safe hands, and in hands that are developing them, and that they have staff that can that are stable and that are a really good background and supported and trained and care about your kids. And I've had the opportunity recently to spend a lot of time with our parents, most recently in one of our districts, and the stories of the attachment that their children have to our staff, and the caring and the impact that they've had, I think is really speaks to why our program is different from so many others.
Right, right.
In addition to all of our child care, we do the gym and swim that a lot of people think of when they think of the Ys. But we do it differently than the way other organizations do it, because, as I said, our mission is really infused in every part of our work. But we have amazing swim teams, our Tiger Sharks, our Synchro Stars, a synchronized swim team, which is really unique.
Yes. But different than the YMCA.
Yes.
It's not the YMCA. It's YWCA.
Yes, we like to say the W makes a difference. You just got to flip it, and we're a totally different organization. They do great work, but our work is different. We serve the entire county, and our mission is much broader than fitness and and aquatics. Although that is a core, we build so much more that's really about helping women and families fulfill their dreams and desires. I really believe that that's at the core of all the work we do. We talked about our sexual violence program, which is a key piece of our work.
What is that called?
Healing Space. We have a 24-hour hotline that anybody can call at any time of day, whether it's the first time they want to talk about being sexually assaulted, or whether it's kind of just something that has triggered for them at that particular moment, 24/7. We have trained advocates that are on the phone to be able to provide support to you. If you're at a point where you'd like counseling, we have individual and group counseling available. And we do a significant amount of education and outreach, as we know, as we just shared, is so important out in the community, to make sure that people know about our services, understand about sexual violence, and are able to, even if they haven't experienced it, become allies to bring people, to our service, and an understanding and awareness. In addition to all of that, we have phenomenal women's empowerment programs. I'm sitting here on the heels of a sold-out women's empowerment conference that we did on Thursday of last week, and
what exactly was that?
It was, we had women leaders from KPMG, BD, and Konica Minolta come forward and share their stories about their leadership skills, diversity and inclusion, how they attained their dreams and how they moved themselves, from point A to point B. And some of them went from not working in a corporate environment to working in a corporate environment. Some of them talked about navigating through a corporate environment.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even our keynote speaker, Sarah Walton, really focused on, what are your dreams, what are your truths, embracing them and moving forward. And again, at the end of the day, I think that is the core of all of the YWCA as well. You know, we talked about our mission, but our vision is that wherever a woman is, you know, that she is able to have support in developing and supporting her at that moment.
Fantastic.
And we know, you know, women go through many stages in life.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, you go from, you know, being single to possibly married to possibly having children to, you know, being a caregiver to your own parents possibly, and, you know, working potentially in a corporate environment or, you know, some type of work environment, you know, being laid off, stopping working, staying at home with children for a few years. I mean, there's so many phases of womanhood.
There's so many.
And at the end of the day, you know, we want to be able to support women wherever they're at. And P.S., there's a place for the men at the YWCA too, because at the end of the day, a woman who's supported and children that are well developed and supported through our programs as well are helping, you know, our entire community. So men should be standing with us.
Yes.
And men should be standing with us on all of our advocacy issues as well, because at the end of the day, you know, the other piece of our work about trying to push forward on equal pay and paid leave and sick leave pay and all of these items, you know, are right now we have men, you know, in office making these decisions mostly. You know, we've got a few good women, but not enough. And so we need the men to be able to support us and you know, vote those issues through. And we need, you know, women to be stepping up and taking the voices that we've been developing all these years in all of these different roles and putting them into action opportunities like you've done with your voice here. And it doesn't have to be in office, but it can be in office.
Right.
But be someplace where you can get the platform out to support women and women's issues.
That's one of the things that I've been asked, because my show is about empowering women, but men will come to me and say, well, do you interview men? Of course I interview men. I want men on the show for your empowerment, for your voice, because they too empower women and get behind women.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're all working together.
We absolutely are. And I think it's, you know, sometimes, as I said, people, you know, men often say, you know, where is there a place for men in this organization? But how can there not be a place? You know, every man should want to have, like, you know, a holistic society around them where everyone is equally supported and pushed ahead, because that is really, you know, where we will be able to, you know, put all of these ills that we struggle with every day behind us.
Absolutely.
We also have a wonderful Girls Leadership Academy, Empower You, which is in its 5th year, and I'm very excited about. Where we have sophomores in high school spend 10 months together, and they meet over 60 women in our community who are mentors and come share their journeys and their stories, because as we know, there's no straight line.
Yeah, there's no straight line, and start with the young people, right? Because they're our next, they're our next leaders. They're the next ones that's going. Yes,
and you know, you have a daughter. At the end of the day, I mean, you know, if we can empower them at this like, you know, magical and important age, then think of how ahead of the game they'll be when they're where, you know,
I always think that. Exactly. It's like, I'm just now getting this.
Yeah.
So,
but that's also because no one, you know, had the foresight to teach it to us at a younger age. But, you know, all these soft skills and all of these, you know, opportunities that we're going to now in networking events as women, they're all translatable to young girls.
Absolutely.
And so it's just a matter of creating an opportunity to bring them to young women. And that's what the YWCA does also, because we know we'll have more empowered women if we start younger.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%.
And we're getting ready for our Racial Justice Awards, actually. We'll be coming in April as well. And I'm very excited to share that we have some amazing people in our community and organizations that we're honoring again this 5th year of this event. And our Racial Justice Awards are, you know, exist to showcase individuals and organizations that are working to eliminate racism in our community and be models for other folks to be able to stand up and do the same. So I'm very excited about that event that's coming too. And this Saturday, I'm happy to share that we're doing a co-sponsored event with the National Coalition of 100 Black Women to bring more women of color to run for office.
So you guys are doing some amazing things. It's incredible.
We are a small but mighty team, as I always say.
Yes, you
we
are.
We have an amazing core group and an amazing board, and, you know, all these wonderful volunteers that surround us. And
we need to get some of these ladies on the show and talk about what they're doing.
Happy to, you know, make the introduction and bring them all here to you.
Absolutely. So now you shared about the YWCA. Let's get back to why you wanted to lead the YWCA.
Well, most of my career actually has been working in sexual violence work and working with sexual violence with children. I worked for the prosecutor's office. I worked in different programs around the state that were focused on working with child abuse survivors. And, I kept working with mothers, and women that were connected to these children. And, through that experience, I think I really became aware of the needs of women and how they wanted to do better, but that they were challenged in so many ways.
Right.
And I think that's what this organization really does. It lifts women up, and it gives women opportunities and connections, provides networking opportunities, and it was a natural progression for me of my work. And also, as a woman, I've changed so much. I went from being a single woman to and a daughter, to being a wife and a mother to 5-year-old twins, and a caretaker to my parents, as they aged. And I've lived through so many phases of womanhood, and I still have many more to go.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I love that this organization takes a look at women and just meets them where they are.
Yeah.
And helps them realize their dreams and support them through that current experience.
So did they find you, or did you find them?
Someone called me and said the organization is looking for a new CEO, and they need you, and you should come here. And I wasn't looking for a job at the time, funny enough, so I was like,
Yeah.
But then I kept reading about them, and I was like, I think there's some work here that I can do. And it was an organic progression over about 6 months of me chatting with the then board, and that brought me here. But I have to say, 6.5 years later, and it's gone so fast. I can't believe it's been 6.5 years.
Unbelievable.
And my life has changed so much in that 6.5 years that I think it's really helped, me be more responsive to women. I mean, I learned about childcare needs now, which I didn't know when I started, other than reading about them. But now I've experienced them, and so it's been amazing. And I always say too is, if you're open, things come,
Absolutely.
to you, and it pulls to you.
It does, and then it's out there,
Yes.
and if it's meant for you, and in the universe, I always say that, put it out in the universe. If it's meant to happen, it will happen.
I think so.
And that was your calling, and
It
your
has
passion, and your growth, so you're
totally
doing amazing things
I
now.
have to say it has been, and each day with each new opportunity we have, especially when we launched the coalition, it really does feel like I've met my calling, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to serve the women in our county.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we have some fun things to talk about now.
Party!
Right, we have the gala that's upcoming, so tell us about that.
Well, so all of this great work that the YWCA does, doesn't happen, easily. It happens obviously with dollars and support.
Yes.
And the community is really who comes forward and helps make all of this happen. And we're so grateful to all of our donors who support us throughout the year. But we love our gala, which is May 16th this year at Seasons, Walking the Talk, and it's all about our time being now, because this is the opportunity that we really get to celebrate.
Yes.
We celebrate the organization, we celebrate all the individuals that have been supporting us, we celebrate all the corporations that are supporting us, and we make new friends. And it's fun.
Yeah.
It is a fun evening, and within all of that, we are honoring some amazing women in our community for their work and their commitment to helping move women forward. And for the first time ever, we're also honoring a man who specifically is focused on, so much of his work about supporting women and their empowerment. So we're excited about that as well.
That's incredible.
So it's a great event, a great opportunity. We hope you all come and join us.
Yes, May 16th.
And I have to say, and Marci is one of the core, we have this amazing gala committee. I call them one of the fiercest girl gangs I have ever seen, that are just...
They are incredible. I've really enjoyed working with them thus far, and the
I have
difference.
to say, 2 of our board members, Gretchen and Martha, have headed and pulled together such power players in our community, and you guys have really thought of every detail to take this event, that has always been wonderful, but I'm so excited because it's going to be a totally new heights this year.
Yeah. It's such an honor to be part of that team and to make such a difference. And now that brings me to these beautiful bracelets here.
Oh,
Yes. So let's talk about these.
So one of our fierce girl gang, Robin Morsch, who had this idea to, give an opportunity for everyone to get involved in the gala, whether or not they could attend, was to create these amazing bracelets. She had them commissioned for the YWCA. I'm wearing mine. And
I have one on too.
Well.
This agate, I love it.
So, and the agate was very specifically chosen as the gem because of all of the amazing powers, that, come with this gem. I know we were talking about
the energies.
And being transformational and acceptance and confidence. Right, and it's like everything that every woman should have, with them at all times. Right. And if you're wearing one of these bracelets, you really get to, harness all of those great energies. And they're beautiful.
Beautiful.
And the two colors were chosen very specifically. The YWCA signature color is persimmon orange, which is why this color was chosen. And this color was chosen specifically for Healing Space because teal is the color for sexual violence awareness. And, they are... there's sister bracelets out there at very large chains for a couple $100s, but these are a tremendous bargain.
Yes.
That you can purchase one for $30 or two for $50.
Right, and if you want to, additionally, you can add, they're $25. So so once you buy two for $50,
yes, you can bring another one.
If you want additional, they're $25.
You can add, they make amazing gifts. I mean, women of all ages, will really enjoy having one of these. And I think the important thing is not only does it look great and it's an amazing gift, but that you're supporting such a wonderful cause. And when you look down at it, you can know I'm supporting, eliminating racism and empowering women, and really, I'm committed to ending sexual violence. And you have that with you at all times.
Yes. And this bracelet here, I believe I saw this at Neiman Marcus, one that was very similar to this for about $250.
That's that's true. That's true. So
so ladies, we've got to get behind these, or men buy these as nice gifts.
Yes,
your daughters will love them too.
We have Mother's Day, we have graduations, we have lots of opportunities for people to get these, but you don't even need a gift. Just, you don't need a reason to give a gift. A gift for yourself.
Yeah.
And they're easily accessible by reaching out to the YWCA or Deepars, which is a wonderful shoe store in Ridgewood. I'm actually wearing my Deepars boots today. But she is, Gabriella is an amazingly community supporter and supporter of the YWCA. She's part of our girl gang and our gala committee, and she has them at her store selling them there as well.
And also you can go on the website girlswiththepearlearrings.com.
Thank you for sharing that. I was going to say that too. So that's important. So there's so many ways that you can get access to one of these. And we encourage you to do that.
And the other great thing is, again, you don't have to go to the gala. You can buy one of these. They're gorgeous, and they are for sale through the summer.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for watching Coffee with Marci. Please go to the YWCA Bergencounty.org for more information to help this wonderful organization. And also, don't forget that you can find Coffee with Marci on Roku, Apple, and Android. And check out my website for more upcoming shows. So I will see you soon, and thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great to have you.
Wonderful to be here.
We'll see you soon.